Greetings, everyone. Welcome to day 9 of this 2 week online refresher course in Geography, Geographers, and Geospatial Technologies Impacting Physical, Social, and Gendered Spaces 2021. So, today we have with us Professor Seema Mehra Parihar, the convener of this refresher course, and today, ma'am will be taking a session on empowering 5Gs, secret mantras for geographers in 2021 to 2030. But before ma'am takes the session, I would take this privilege to introduce her first to all the participants. Dr. Seema Mehra Parihar is a professor in Department of Geography at Kirori Mal College, University of Delhi. She has more than 33 years of experience in academics in the specific area of GIS, remote sensing, natural resource management, gender, and field based research. In 2021 and 2022, she was a visiting scholar at Le Havre University, Normandy, France. She was also in Tokyo, Japan in July 2019 and interacted with students and faculty members at the Faculty of Foreign Studies at Tokuha University, Japan. Her PhD is on Natural Resource Management in Bhagirathi Basin from Department of Geography, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi, and she was also a postdoc fellow at ITC, postdoc fellow at Geoinformation Processing Department, the International Institute of Geoinformation Science, and Earth Observation ITC. She is currently working on two research projects, one jointly with NATMO entitled Women Empowerment Atlas of India, Science and Technology Perspective, sanctioned by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and another entitled Mapping Good Practices of Institutions for Supporting Redressal of Violence Against Women in India, sanctioned by World Health Organization. She has also recently completed VAW Prevention Respect Workshop Series, Asia Pacific Region, pilot rollout developed by WHO, UN Women, and endorsed by 12 other agencies based on the UN Women Framework, launched in 2019. She has authored more than 40 articles in research journals and published 8 books, including her recent publication, Physical Geography in Diagrams by R. B. Bunnett. She was also a joint director of Developing Countries Research Center, Deputy Dean Students Welfare, Chairperson of Central Placement Committee, and Fellow at Institute of Lifelong Learning, University of Delhi. Professor Parihar has also been a speaker at 125 plus national and international programs and panel discussions on gender, women, and various geospatial themes, tools, and related technologies. She was recently awarded IIRS ISRO Annual Award 2018 during IIRS Academia Meet 2019, IM 2019 at Indian Institute of Remote Sensing IIRS, Indian Space Research Organization ISRO. She was also presented recently with Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Distinguished Professor Award 2021 during National Teachers' Day celebrations. She has also been awarded Bhu Samman by Bhuvikas Foundation at a rural development conference in Hyderabad. She has also coordinated a 40 module e learning course and recorded 20 lessons for postgraduate EPG Pathshala for the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India, GOI. We welcome you, ma'am. I now request you to take over the session. Thank you.
Good day, everybody. Let us start today with that mantra for which you all are here for. I'm going to converse with you today, next hour or so, empowering 5Gs, secret mantras for geographers in 2021 to 2030, the implementation decade of Sustainable Development Goal. I'm Seema Mehra Parihar, who is a convener of this refresher course also. And what is important for you all to remember that today when we have come and joined this teaching learning center, organized refresher course collaborated with Kirorimal College. We all have come so that we all can make a difference and we all can do something much more than what we all were always doing. And with that idea in mind, I'm just going to take you to something which you all already know. And we'll just revisit 5Gs: geography, geographers, geospatial technologies, fourth being gendered spaces, and fifth is the terra firma. And geography, of course, we all know is the integrating science. And the assumption that I presume that I go ahead with you is: number one, geography and geographers matter. Number two, spaces are largely fragmented and fractured in the contemporary world and contemporary India, and we all need to join hands to work towards it. And geography is the integrative science of the world that integrates art, science, and technology. Geography and geographers provide content and context for understanding everything. Location is important. Swiggy, Zomato, and all those ordering which we've done in the pandemic have actually convinced us that location and locational tools are the ones which is our strength, is the one that matters. SDG implementation decade provides immense scope for strengthening geography and geographers. That means we all are just there in the right place at the right time in case if we want to make a difference. The key question then emerges is our preparedness, readiness, and actual education of the teaching learning mechanism of geography discipline. Just because the time is less, I'm going to pick up my examples from cartography discipline, natural resource management, remote sensing and GIS, and gender geography in India, and some examples from outside also. So present presentation tries to answer this question, scrutinizing course curriculum of the mentioned papers in undergraduate, postgraduate, and diploma courses offered in the portals of higher education of India, and visualizing spatial reality check whether geography matters in that syllabus or not, whether time management has been done there or not. And methodology is that, of course, my own personal experience of teaching for more than 35 years now, cartography, remote sensing, GIS, and natural resource management, and my own exposure to it when I went to IRS Dehradun in 1990, and after that went to ITC Netherlands for my postdoc, and also my PhD where I've used remote sensing, GIS, and number of courses which I've coordinated in last few years in number of ways. So that's something which is there. The 2007, when I came from ITC, I had dreamt of having this blended way of learning and teaching and going ahead, but I couldn't do it because somewhere along the line, there was no mantra that was taught to me. And neither I think so we all were ready or the right time as it is. In addition, of course, I wish to acknowledge the learnings for my 14 major research projects, which I've taken from UGC, WHO, ICSSR, and the best of the best. I was lucky to be given this project. It's only highlighting one thing. And that one thing that is highlighting is that geography matters. And in case if you also all go hand in hand with the rigor of finding solutions along spaces, you all would be assigned task and responsibility. Please grow up. Please work hand in hand with the society. Please uplift your learning skills and the mantra, which I'll be talking about in the next particular section. And in addition to all this, my India has a huge infrastructure, and it's just that today is just the right time when we also have, something which we want our India to become Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we want to go ahead and do it. I have so many universities where I can all join hands and I can take my subject forward. So that's one thing, which we all have to always keep in mind. I have taken, like, I've divided the country when I was just doing my research and this type of mapping I was doing, 6 zones of India: northern zone, east, northeastern zone, central zone, west zone, and south zone. And then just with the help of the desk review and also the surveys and telephonic conversation, talking with people and the experience and all that, we all, evolved new methods of data collection. And we found that, yes, somewhere along the line, geography has missed the bus. We all know that the problem solving approach, inquiry approach, and all other things are there, but are we making use of it or not is the one that's questioned. That's something, which I definitely want. Of course, I'm assigning you some assignment also in this, where I want you to map your dream, aspiration, wish, aim that you all join hands in when you join this profession. And why urgency? Why I'm saying this is the right time? Because out here, everybody is talking with the help of my or our smart tool that's called maps. But are geographers using it or not? That's a big question mark. Many times you get your PhDs from some universities to assess where there are no maps. Maps are the soul of cartography and geography. They've never been as popular as they are nowadays. In the COVID pandemic, you found so many people, everybody talking with the help of map. They're showcasing different information on the map. Peter Haggett said geography is the art of the mappable. If in case if you can't map, it's a mappable. And then, of course, like Richard Hartshorne said, so important is the use of maps in geographic work that it seems fair to suggest to the geographer if the problem cannot be studied fundamentally by maps, then it is questionable whether or not it is within the field of geography. And I remember, when I met my boss at ITC Netherlands, Professor Menno Krak, he told me, Menojan, that like Seema, like, cartography, or why call it that, it's geovisualization. Way back in 2002, it was so difficult even to visualize geography as cartography as geovisualization. Maybe that's the reason why one of my gender atlas, which I made for Ministry of Women and Child, and I've given it a name of geovisualization. So we have to remember, and we have not to forget at any time, that maps are important tool. And today, lifelong learning has become possible. If you can't do it, and we all have been doing all this while, we all have been doing it. We all are teaching our students via that. Whether we are doing a justice or not, that's another thing which you all need to do it. But today, your world is ready to capture, to redefine your map. But at the same time, there are problems in this world. We have enough for man's need, but not enough for man's greed, Mahatma Gandhi said. And all my violence that's there on the physical space and the social space and the cultural space and gender space is crying that still equality, parity, equity issues are not solved. 1 in 7 people in the planet go hungry every day, despite the fact that the world is capable of feeding everybody. Are we solving such issues? Are we raising such issues? Are we talking about these issues? Average American uses 176 gallons of water a day, while the average African family uses 5 gallons. Is there a difference between 5 gallon and 176 gallon? Isn't giving me the pattern and the mappable, like here, less, more, processes, interlinkages and all that? Those words, what my geography is all about. An average person in the United Kingdom emits 10.7 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent every year. In the world's 48 least developed countries, including so many countries, the average is just 1.7 million tons a year. 10.7 million tons and 1.7 million tons. Is there a difference? And we're talking about making some protocols in this, carbon emission in a very different way. Of course, our India is, we're talking about solar energy and all that. And inequality in the constraint was, say, the overall, the wealthiest 20% of the world's population consume 80% of the resources. And the poorest 20% do not have enough to meet their basic needs and account for just 1.3% of the global resource consumption. So there, and resource and wealth, we need to redefine resource, or we need to redefine wealth. What we call wealth may not be a resource, even, not having that bread, butter, also basic issues that's there. Forget about the issue called wealth. In economics, in some subjects, some people say when your culture cannot be defined and redefined, like, so, and quantified, how can you do a good research on that? Whether we work on the behavioral ways, or we work on the quantified methodology, or we worked in the technology framework, or the the new concepts in the postmodernism world, or we work on the we work on the first space, second space, or the third space, and the way we are working on that, whether we are working with the what mindset, whatever we are working, we have to work without bias. But we all know that our space is across equal, that there are problems. 1 in 3 women experience physical or sexual violence in their lifetime by an intimate partner. And in case if you look at this map, you may find that it's not uniform. Some regions are there with red color, some with blue, some with green. There are so many anomalies which are there. So are we missing something? And of course we are missing. Number one, of course, in case if that's an issue, why in geography community we are still not wanting to have geography of gender as a compulsory paper at undergraduate level? That's the point I just want to say. And why in case if we are missing onto the maps, why are we not giving a rigorous mapping concept? So what emanates clearly in all 6 zones of India after working on with this data and looking at so many syllabus which are there, is identity crisis even in 2021, with geography not being able to occupy learning spaces of higher education. Missing geography in more than 90% of the undergraduate colleges affiliated University of Delhi tells its own story. The place where we all are having this course, geography is just not there in all colleges. And of course, we have confused cartography teaching learning processes. It's caught between cartography, digital cartography, web cartography, GIS, GI science. GI science is a great word, fine, have it, but have the same syllabus. Have web cartography? No, no, it's not required. Digital cartography, where? No, no, we only have one, add everything to it. Or all 3 years have almost a similar syllabus. Are we adding maths to our geography learning? Are we adding programming to our this thing, when Visual Basic and artificial intelligence, the big data, we are all going to work and catch hold on it? We are not. What is sadder is the confusion with more than 80% of the students and even 70% of the teachers and trainers for the necessity of learning cartography as a blend of art, science, and technology with necessary theoretical concept. They are learning cartography but not calling cartography. And sometimes, you may find shocking software programs where you find that lat long have not been understood. Largest is the confusion of geography discipline being identified with arts or science or technology. We're still confused. Some people say we are BA in geography, some say BSc in geography, some people say, no, 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 forget about geography, just remove it, take it out of the bag and just call it a geoinformation science or GI science, and it's a part of the technology. So where is the geography? Again, missing geography. Geography for the most undergraduate and postgraduate is showcasing 3-level major dilemmas and 26 micro dilemmas. Major dilemma, I've already told you, arts, science, or technology, existence. Similarly, you have this existence is the only problem that's there. Then today you don't have open source or proprietary source software. You have great open source software also, where people are working and we are finding ways. And even today, a lot of data is readily available. 1:30 meter data is available to you free of cost. QGIS is free of cost. So missing gender geography as a paper in the syllabus of more than almost all geography curriculum is a question mark. Why strenuous cartography syllabus is not there? Why cartography is called a poor cousin or a poor sister or a poor foundation course in comparison to GIS and remote sensing is another question mark. So what I'm trying to say is that today you all have to gear up, you all have to redesign, you all have to focus, and you all have to work towards your own journey. Now, after understanding that geographers are not able to match the demand for our subject to as much as we all can do. So why don't we do that? Why don't we join hands with that? And now let me share with you those secret mantras for geographers in 2021, today, so that we all feel that we all are invigorated, we all are enthusiastic, we all actually want to make a difference, and we all would make a difference. I just want you all to always remember every day, and there's more reason for you all to make it, because you all actually want API score also. And I'm actually hoping that you all have come here with an interest. So for this, I would like you all to always remember just an acronym secret. That's going to be your own, SECRET. And in case if we all remember and practice every day, our graph will definitely go up. Let's start with S. And before we do that, let us first know that, why do we need it? I mean, are we actually understanding what geography is also or not? Of course, the understanding that we all need to do it. In case if I ask any one of you, what is the definition of geography? You all would say interrelationship between man and nature and all those processes which are there and the reasons for those processes. Royal Geographical Society defines it as human geography concerns the understanding of the dynamics of culture, societies, and economies. And recently we just found that all those reasons that why our society need for us to be the drivers and guiding force in creating a balancing act with our culture, societies, and economies. Especially in that a case which we just saw, that 80% of the resources are consumed by just a small population. 1.5% of all those resources are consumed by, again, a small fraction of people. And we also saw that 1 in 3 women are facing one or the other form of violence. When there's so much pain and when happening with even nature, so much pain with happening with human bodies, and we as a discipline have a power to create that particular knowledge where we all can suggest on how to bring a balance in this terra firma. Why are we not having our presence felt by all other disciplines? Physical geography concerns the understanding of dynamics of landscapes of the environment. And today, disasters, nature, flash floods, earthquakes, and all those things are happening. But are we actually teaching everybody, and are we finding that we are there in solving those problems? And what is geography, of course, puts the understanding of the social and physical processes within the context of place, recognizing the great difference in culture, political system, economies, landscape, and environment across the world. And of course, exploring the linkages between them. Understanding the causes of difference and inequalities between places and social groups underlie much of the newer development in human geography. But the point that I'm trying to make is, are our curriculum that we have designed, do they fit in and teach people to understand those processes, or are we still limiting ourselves to that stage of the patterns? And of course, geography provides an ideal framework for relating other fields of knowledge and blending them all into one. It is not surprising that those trained as geographers often contribute substantially to the applied management of resources and environment. My question out here, I've just taken from the Royal Geographic Society website, is that are we doing it there? Are we there? Are we there in presence, and we all are making the difference or not? Broadly sense, in case if we look at the syllabus, and in case if we look at it, of course, we all know it, that geography is the one that is an education for life and living. And learning through geographer's lens, whether gained through formal learning or experientially through travel, fieldwork, expedition, and so on, we can help society. We can help everyone, but are we doing it? So the secret mantra, which I will definitely like to tell each one of you, would be one, and that is self-management. First is self-management. Of course, we all know that charity begins at home. But my participants, I just want to tell you, of course, you all remember those basic traditions which we talked about, and you all remember that, this is something that we all need to do. But at the same time, I want you all also to know that, first of all, unless and until you manage yourself, you will not be able to cope up and take the geography forward the way there is a demand today. We, of course, need to be kind to everybody. We need to be disciplined. We need to be, be at that place where we all can say we are spiritually connected with the earth. When we saw that there's so much need and our discipline has so much power, has so much scope, where we all can map, and we have so much other different traditions which we all can follow and make a difference. But why are we not doing it? Because somewhere along the line, we all just are not there that much empowered or with that much mantra. Of course, we've got earth science, physical space, social space, cultural space, gendered space, and all these things are the ones which are fractured. But are we trying to work towards those processes which lead to that, and ultimately we go and do our fieldwork with that rigor? So first of all, each one of you, dear friend, just remember you need to manage yourself. And I think so pandemic has taught us this. Pandemic has also taught us this, that we need to now today create new geographies and new geography tradition, so that we all can work towards, and especially when geographies and the borders and all those things are mixing and blending so much that we are just, again, maybe there is a reason for us to again further work out the developed and the developing economies, and so on and so forth. Whether something is becoming borderless or something not is becoming borderless, that needs new determination of taking it forward. But for that, what we need is your own management. And another rest that's important all the time is to remember that geographers deal with space. As I always say in my GIS class, it's LCPTM, location. We need to capture location. It's point, line, area. We need to capture points, all those points which are spatially well spread. We need to capture those lines, whether curvilinear lines or whether they are straight lines or whether they are, fractured lines, broken lines, and so on and so forth. Then, of course, those polygons we need to capture, but all in the spatial context, and not, and then work out that whether they are there in the open system or the closed system, and join hands to work together with them. So first and forward, for that is your self-management. You need to read. You need to define your own path. You need to define your own self, your own sensitivity. You need to be healthy enough to do field work. So the first and foremost step I always say is that you have to grow up to a fact of your self-management. Today you all are here. I'm very happy with this. But you all have to remember, yes, we have API scores today, but you all have to continuously have a copy pen in hand, and you all have to note down whether you are growing in your career path or not, and other spiritual path also or not. Next comes this. For this, we have a role model, of course, Dr. R.B. Singh. That is, E is the effort management. Karma, as Bhagavad Gita says. Are you doing enough efforts to take your task forward? Are you doing enough prayas for that? This particular person, Professor R.B. Singh, who we all know, was so much self-motivated that he was continuously into the journey of doing prayers. And your intentions have to be mapped. Your intentions have to be connective so that you all can continuously do it. Are you reading enough? Are you noting the problems enough? Are you progressing enough? Are you doing something extra than what you were doing yesterday? That's something which you all need to do. Are you making changes with the curriculum? Are you being responsible to whatever is assigned to you? Are you making enough effort for that or not? And of course, that effort has not to be going with your own personal selfish goals. All those efforts need to be selfless efforts so that your discipline, geography, and geographers can move forward. Map what are those efforts that you're making. Whether you're reading more, you published a paper, you have gone ahead to do something. And this photograph, I just put it because remembering Professor R.B. Singh, he was my teacher when he came for the first time in the Department of Geography, Deal School of Economics in my MA final year. And I remember. And recently, just before his death, he was there in my one of those interactive meeting. And when he saw this photograph in my PowerPoint slide, he said, oh, you know, Professor Goodchild and Jack Dangermond and all, you met them all. And he was so happy with it. He said, so you're making efforts. That was a word that he used. Because he was always continuously making efforts to take his path forward. That's what I just want each one of you to do it, that you all have to inherently ask yourself, are you making efforts enough to map spaces of your own growth, spaces of the growth of this discipline, spaces of the growth of the physical space, spaces of the growth of your cultural space, your social space, your gendered space. Are you making a difference or not with your efforts? What are these efforts? That's something, you know, you all have to definitely note. Look at this. Somebody like, you know, in case if you say, I always say, why I'm saying Professor R.B. Singh is such a nice man. I think so he went away too early. He was just a small boy like any one of us or any one of you, the one who's there. He was a boy from Majanpura Gaon, Chhapra district, Bihar. And then, like, look at the picture, this picture where he's there with best and the best and the best and the top of your geography community. What are the efforts that he made? And like, so that's something that I just want you all to remember. He was the one, he broke all geographies. He broke all thresholds. That is the effort which is required for all of you. He was a secretary geographer, an exemplary geographer. He became a secretary general of IGU. Until now, no geographer has ever reached that position from India. Forget about India, even from Asia. He explored geography discipline with his own efforts. He widened the role of geographer and optimized the use of geospatial technologies in his research. And that's something what I just want all of you to do it. If you make effort, nobody is going to take away your journey path ahead. And like he was the one, he actually showed us how to cross borders. If he could, right, somebody who's come from a village from Chhapra district of Bihar, reached Delhi, he taught here, he went to Banaras before this, and then he further went on, and then he crossed all those boundaries and traveled to so many countries. He had to his credits 14 books, 35 edited research volumes, and more than 200 research papers. This is what is called an effort. And that's something which you all have to make note of it. That's something which you all have to definitely work towards it, so that you all are progressing ahead in your map. You need to publish articles. And that's something, which in my own, of course, humble way, these are few articles which I've published in few journals, but he was just telling me, Seema, this is one way where you have to produce more. You have to write books. You have to make use of new tools and technologies. You have to learn that. So you have to make an effort. That's something, another thing which I want to tell you. And what was C? C, as I told you, geography has got that much power where it can make and decide the content of the society. It decide the context of the society. And that's something where geography has a power. And C is the company management. This networking is equally important if we want to take geography ahead. Our association, who we all make our friends of, it's not only the association, and even, association with the data. In case if I still want to make use of the data that is something which is of the years old, and that data which again is not of that resolution, I want to do a detailed work, and I'm still working with the like say 1:50,000 RF data, then it's of no use. Today, when I have 30-meter data which is available to me free, am I preparing myself? Am I prepared to use that data or not? So that company I need, so that the company tells me this is what is required. I would like to share here with the my teacher also, and my colleague, which later became at Kirodimal College, Professor Manu Shileri, who is now the one who's running ML Info. She's the one, like, she told me when I told her in 1990, way back, see, I'm working on for my PhD on natural resource management in Bhagirathi Basin. He said, you cannot do a research till the time you go to Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, Dehradun. And that institute is there for all of us to go. And my path changed after that. After that, I went to ITC Netherlands for my postdoc and so on and so forth. The point that I'm trying to make, and so is the case, and now this Professor R.B. Singh, that man to whom we have dedicated this, open his work, open his task, and learn from him. Look at this picture. It's such a pride for a country, pride for the family, pride for the geography community. So, of course, we all should be selective with our association. That's something, that's something which is there, but we definitely today, We all are so fond of literature review. If we are not, we have to become fond of literature review. Pick up those people who have interest you or who motivate you. For me, natural resource management, if you ask me, one of the biggest motivator that for me is Zimmerman. When I say Zimmerman, Zimmerman is the one, because what you say, resources are not, they become. And that's something what I'm trying to make all of you also. You're for me a neutral staff who came here, and I would definitely like that you all to become, a resource, and of course not at any time a resistance. And in case if something wrong has happened, you have to create, you have to, work towards that resistance and convert it into a resistance, because at the beginning, we all are simply a neutral staff. We all have to remember that in case if there is a neutral staff, which is within us also, even it's required for my self-management, even it's required for my effort management, that particular content and context, what I define, is the one that's going to set for me whether I want to progress ahead, I want to take my geography ahead or not. And that's something what is required. Please create one page for S. What are the things that you're doing? One page for E. What are the efforts that you're doing? One page for C. What is the context that you're working towards? What are the companies that you're keeping? What are the associations that you build in this particular refresher course also? And whether you have understood the meaning of that spearhead, as in the Zimmerman model, to dig it further and to convert that neutral stuff into a resource or a resistance. And of course, at the same time, in case if you have a look at it, what I'm trying to tell you is that carrying capacity is something which varies from individual to individual. But at the same time, what is the problem is that 1 in 3 women are the ones who, irrespective of all that, may come across more pain. This is just the data of 1 in 3 women. We have also seen the data of physical space also, which is also getting, wilted, which is also, where there's a lot of violence. We are, of course, not having enough, why? Because greed is so much in this materialistic world. And do you know something? When I say the violence is happening so much across physical space, across cultural space, across gender spaces, because working closely with the violence in the women context, I just know it. Do you know that 97.5% of the rape cases that take place in India, according to NCRB data, are there done by whom? By the people who you are knowing. Only 1.5% are, that violence is done by somebody who you're not knowing. So are we so all those things which are there, which definitely needs management and the content and the context, and then putting it all in the framework of spatial, and remembering that it has to be mappable. So that space, whatever the content, whatever my context is, whatever my project aim is, I'm able to rearrange with different locations, and I'm further going to work out those processes that build those interlinkages, and of course, try to make a maximum use of it. The context has to be very much relevant to the society. And of course, using the tools and technologies also. This is one of the projects which I was doing, where, of course, it was published also that, where the glacier ke pigalne ki dar chintajanak and all that, the glaciers are melting, etc. So there are quite many things, which are happening, and where you all can contribute, you all can make use of data, and you all can work towards it. So the context has to be, which is there near that. When I say 2030, today there's 17 SDGs are giving you so many ideas. And to add those ideas, to all those things which have been further added in this pandemic time, is something which you all can further add to it. But I just would like to share with you out here that, when I went and when I was making my presentation in the Department of Science and Technology, they said, no, which data have you used? Which spatial data have you used? Where you're showing that actually glaciers are the ones that are melting. So whether you use MODIS, no, it's not. You need further high-end instruments and tools to show whether they are melting or not. It's not that the local people, the ones who are there, are just saying that's enough. But are we geographers also teaching and making use of all those technologies which are there, all those, large data sets, large ways of mapping glaciers we are teaching or we have it in our curriculum? So after C comes R, in case the other thing that is there, because in my short span, 2021 to 2030, I would definitely like to reach in that situation where I feel that I've done some contribution. R is relationship management. And the relationship management is so important. Relationship between teacher and student, relationship between supervisor and student, relationship between faculty, relationship between individual and society, relationship between administration. We all know it. In case if we are doing a project also, our interaction with the administration is so very important, all that financial management. So that relationship, is something which is so very important. And we all know it, that relationships do not die a natural death, but are always killed by ego. And this ego we have seen in our subject too. No, I want my department only to be, as a physical geography department. No, physical geography, we are doing so much. So no, what are these all, those social relevant subjects? They don't have that much valid space in the curriculum. And that's something what I just showed you in the, in my previous this thing, that still gender geography in 99.9% places we are not having it. And in Delhi University, in undergraduate teaching, we don't have gender geography as a course. And even I know that wherever there are, gender geography happening, also they're happening with the, push of an individual teacher or a faculty member. So we need to work towards relation, because that networking is the one that took Dr. R.B. Singh where he was. And even with our students and even outside, this is my own experience in France where I was teaching and the other places which are there, whether they are like, we are sustaining those relationships also or not, so that we come to know what more we need to do, whether we are adding value to that or not. These are students from France and these are students from Japan. And like, and she's another student from Japan. Don't these students look just the same everywhere? Then, like, why are we not building those relationships? Why not making, inroads? Why are we not, expanding our subject? Why are we not making each other happy? And when it is doable, Professor R.B. Singh has shown all of us this. And that's something what we definitely need to do. And our students, as you see out here, why I put this is from the inaugural session. Professor Rana P.B. Singh, such senior person, he came to the program for inauguration. He's crying, he's got tear in his eyes when he's remembering Professor R.B. Singh. He achieved so much. He was the one who was cuddling him. He was the one who was a younger brother, but he passed away. Here we have Anju, the daughter. Daughter was speaking. He said, no, he had more time. So R.B. Singh had more time for students than even for the family member. And she said, the daughter Anju said that, no, I wish that I was in the next generation, in the next, like life, I may become a student. So I may get more time, with Dr. R.B. Singh. So that's something, which again, we need to work on. And what are our students talking about? This is again, one of the students, who's written that, like, whether what we are, working, whether we are trying to follow and nurture their part. And I would definitely like to say, if you have Professor Pandey here and the other people who are here, they are the ones he did not leave them anywhere. And that's something which we need to do it. He was the most handsome man, Professor R.B. Singh. Because what we say is that who is handsome? Handsome is somebody who gives hands to some. And he gave definitely hands. I can name so many students, Professor Pandey, and so many other students, in case if I remember, Pankaj, Professor Subhash, and so on. So that, like, the people who are there and who are remembering Professor R.B. Singh. I remember in one of his condolence meeting, one of the students said, हम तो घोड़े थे, सर ने हमें तो अरबी घोड़ा बना दिया. Isn't that a job of a teacher and a student? But are we doing that with a geography this thing, so that after graduation, or if the post graduation student may stay in our subject and ultimately make a difference. So R is relationship. And all those things, like, if you look at, these are my students, another time when I was teaching in France, and these are my other gender geography student which I was teaching. And these things that we are building, and they are talking and we are receiving, and now also I'm teaching online there. But relationship with our surroundings, whatever course, whatever subject that's dear to my heart, am I mapping its vulnerability and the marginalization? That's another thing which we definitely need to work, and we need to work towards it. So relationship with students, relationship with everybody, without this thing. And the next E that is there, which we all have to do it, emotional management. If we want to do and contribute to any research and further make a difference in the society, we have to be emotionally in control of us. When I say, of course, we cannot have a data which is biased. We cannot have, whatever is this thing that I see from my lens. I was reading Bhagavatam on the other day, and there was this one story which came where Guru Smat Ramdas ji, he was, telling what are the color of the, flowers which were there in Ashok Vatika. And he said they are white. And then Hanumanji comes, and Hanumanji says, no, 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 they're not white. They were red flowers. And then I said, I'm saying they were white, and what my Guruji told me, I trust my Guru, and they were white. And then they said, okay, let's ask Sita Maya, because she also was there for many months. So when, Sita was asked, Sita said, no, 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 they were blue in color. So they said, no, they were white. So then now is a situation of a conflict, the same data, same location, same flowers, but how come three different characters are giving you a different tone of those flowers? And then comes Lord Rama, and then Lord Rama, of course, with his own, of course, his magnanimous position, he said, no, they were white in color. But then Hanumanji said, but why am I saying right? He said, because that particular time you were so angry. So you were looking from the lens of anger. And why Sita saw blue? Because Sita was looking at it with the eyes full of tears. So the point why I gave you this example, I was just reading it, so it just came to my head, is that, like, so you all have to actually, whenever you're collecting data, there have to be unbiased data. And of course, in this particular time, what has happened is that in this digital world, we are collecting data and we are mapping and we're doing so much. We all are actually making a difference, but this data has to be definitely analyzed without a bias. Not that, like, when I was just making an atlas that read, then, this region we want bad, so let's collect this information. This region is good, so let's collect this information. When I was just making maps, like, so even those legend that you make, those interpretation keys that you make also should be without a bias. It's not that if you want, like, if you say, in case if I have a data of sex ratio and I say the sex ratio above 900 is great, it's wrong. It has to be parity, 1,000, as many boys, as many girls. But if I say, no, that's high, that's low, that's very low, what would be very low is something which we all definitely need to find and contextualize without this thing. So emotional management is something which is so very important. And, like, if you, and Professor R.B. Singh was the one who had managed his emotions so well. That's the reason, like, he was the one who was into, like, looking forward. In each person's life echoes the drama of his or her times and milieu and all, to varying degrees, and the propensity to submit or rebel. And through our biographies, we reach towards understanding being and becoming. And that's something, like, why I said I placed it here. It's been taken from Professor Rana P.B. Singh ji's presentation, because I just loved it. Now, being and becoming, there is a gap there. And that's something that we only come to know in case if we manage ourselves well, manage and, like, created new skills, and have also gone ahead and collected new ways of finding and maturing and interacting with people without any bias, and just giving a feeling of giving it. So we need to have the fieldwork. This fieldwork, what I'm conducting, is a fieldwork in the Cutling Glacier. And this is beyond that, like, when we don't have roads. So fieldwork is a very important part, as we all know it. And in this ongoing pandemic time, when it was difficult to conduct fieldwork, we also have, I've also collected data, confidential data for that matter, with the help of the telesurveyors in a digital way, creating a particular place where these forms were digitized and they were placed. And, we could collect information, because you find, in case if you use Google form often, then there'll be bugs there. So we need to update ourselves on all those ways where we can collect new ways of data. And today, this artificial intelligence and all other things which are there, they are helping us. They're helping us in collecting information. And they're helping us in finding ways where we can, like, with the help of, and I've got one lecture also, which is being given to you, where, that particular person is giving you, where we have collected information by finding, all those other codes which we have developed. And today, nothing is impossible. It was never an impossible. It's just that we need to be very clear on what we all want to have it. This is for my WHO project, where I'm collecting data without a bias, and of course with a lot of care and with a lot of confidentiality, and at the same time even transcribing it with the help of those particular codes and the programs which have been developed by the experts. And T, ultimately, in that secret, is time management. Is actually a priority management. We need to be current with the knowledge. We need to evolve skills so that, like, it's not that we are left behind. We need to use geospatial tools and technologies. We need to use modern methods which are there. We also need to be aware about those qualitative methods of research where we are making use of it, but keeping that space, that mappable unit in mind always. We need to, also, like, those silent voices also which are there sometimes, it helps us in mapping. But again, as I said, without a bias. And in case if we need to evolve new things, we need to make use of digital ways of training and even learning and even acquiring information, so that, like, we all can make a difference, and we all can find new methods. And we realize in pandemic times that, like, we all have been teaching online for last so many this thing. These are few 20 lessons which I just posted here in the EPG Pathshala, which courtesy Professor Masood of Jamia, which I was part of it involving. And, though in 2007, why I gave you this, though in 2007, I called for indigenous e-learning teaching model, but it failed. But in 2021, today, you all are in that situation where everybody is doing that. What I could not use it in 2007, despite having all motivation, etc., etc., I couldn't do it because it was not, people were not aware about it, system was not ready. Even my actual, this networking also, and the network also was not that high. So gender parity also, even the geospatial world. So geospatial, my, like that CSRTAD, when I say we need to capture spatial data, we need to store spatial data and our spatial data, we need to retrieve spatial data, we need to transform spatial data, we need to analyze spatial data, and we need to display visual data. Even there, within that technology framework also, we have less women who are present, If you look at it, this was one geospatial technologies conference. There's only one woman, who's there. And out here also, like, this Women Geospatial Coterie, Dr. Manushi Leri, and plus I was being invited by the, this particular Women Geospatial Coterie, where we were just presenting the case, and Shifali also was there, who will also be part of this course curricula. What I'm trying to tell you all is that we all have to remember that we need to remember the value of T. T is transformation. T is training. T is time management. We need to update our skill sets, which is so very important. Every time we need to remember that we need to update our skill sets. What we knew yesterday, maybe we are not knowing today, and we need to work towards it. And another thing that is important after that with T that I want you all to remember is team building. Team building for empowering geographers. And the story of the hare and tortoise, I just want to quickly take you over to. You all know this story about once upon a time a tortoise and a hare had an argument, and they said, okay, let's see who comes first. And then all of a sudden that, like, he thought he would sit in a tree and relax for a while before continuing the race. But sitting under the tree, the hare soon fell asleep and overtook the hare and finished the race. The tortoise emerged as a champ. So tortoise could be geographer 1, hare could be geographer 2. So if you sleep, you may would have been a topper geography, but if you sleep under the tree, and somebody else would definitely take a plunge and move ahead. So the hare woke up and realized that he had lost the race. The moral of the story is slow and steady wins the race. Agree, slow and steady wins the race, but looking at the digital technology, digital world, we also have to be, but we all have to be steady and continuously remember that secret, SECRET. Now let us contextualize in the geography ecosystem that we all represent. Of course, here was very disappointed. I am more capable. I am more competent. My ego came in forward. So he thought, let me just work with a defect preventive analysis. And he realized he had lost the race because he has been overconfident, careless, and lax. And many a times that's something which we all are in the geography discipline. So if he had not taken things for granted, there would have been no way that the tortoise could have beaten him. So he challenged the tortoise to another race. The tortoise agreed. So now I'm provoking you all to challenge each other. Let it be a physical geography, human geography, cultural geography, or any geography, which are the so many branches. There are political geography. We are the best. Challenge each other. The time here ran all out and ran without stopping from start to finish, and he won by several miles. So he did everything possible, So he ran, of course, and he won. But so if you have two geographers in your department, one methodical and reliable, but not fond of geospatial tools and technologies or new forms of data, quantitative approaches, or even qualitative approaches for that matter, and the other fast and completely ready for new learnings, smart deliverables, using new geospatial tools and technologies, using current ways of available skill sets, still reliable at what she does, the fast and reliable person will consistently kill the mind. And that's something what Professor R.B. Singh did. It is good to be slow and steady, but better to be fast and reliable. But the story doesn't end here. The tortoise, geographer 1, did some thinking this time and realized that there was no way that he could win the race against the hare in a race the way it was currently formatted. So he said, fine. Tortoise thought for a while. He said, let me change my methodology, which I want all of you to change if you want to be there for the society. The tortoise thought for a while, then challenged the hare to another race, but on a slightly different route. So that route had a river in between. So the hare agreed and started off. In keeping with his self-made commitment to be consistently fast, the hare took off and ran at top speed. But until he came to a broad river, the finishing line was a couple of kilometers on the other side of the river. Now what? So the hare sat there wondering what to do. In the meanwhile, the tortoise trundled along, got into the river, swam across to the opposite bank, continued walking, and finished the race. So who won? Tortoise won. The moral of the story: first identify your core competency, then change your playing field to suit your core competency, and learning division of work, trust in teamwork. In your department, you're a good speaker, make sure you create opportunities to give presentation. If you're a conversant with GIS software, resolution data, showcase your reports, research papers to your other faculty members in the university to enable the senior faculty members to note you and to notice you, which Dr. R.B. Singh all this while did. And if your strength is spatial analysis, make sure you do a research, make a report and share it with your seniors. Readiness to help students and always be around. Working to your strength will not only get you noticed, but will also create opportunities for growth and advancement. The story still hasn't ended. The hare, geographer 1, and then the geographer 2 by this time had become very good friends, and then they did something thinking together, which I want all of you to do it. Both realized that the last race could not have been run much better. So they decided to do the last race again, but to run as a team this time. They started off, and this time the hare carried the tortoise up the river bank. Then the tortoise took over and swam across the river without the hare on its back. On the opposite bank, the hare again carried the tortoise, and they reached the finish line together. They both reached the finishing line faster than they could have done all. So they both felt a great sense of satisfaction and they felt earlier. So build teams, dear friends. Moral of the story for my 258 participants in the present refresher course. It's good to be brilliant and to have individual core competencies, but unless you are able to work in a team and harness each other's core competencies, you will always perform below par because there will always be situation at which you will do poorly and someone else will do well. So I just want you all to remember that T is also very important. Teamwork is mainly about situational leadership, letting the person with the relevant core competency for the situation take the reason. There are more lessons to be learned that neither the hare geographer one nor the tortoise geographer two gave up after failures. So never give up, dear friends. As I showed you that Sanjeev's dialogue only was that because of he went to IIT, then he went to Georgia, but could not complete his PhD. He came back and completed his PhD here, and today he's teaching. The hare decided to work harder and put in more effort after failure. The tortoise changed his strategy because he was already working as hard he could. In life, faced with failure, sometimes it's appropriate to work harder and put in more effort. Many times, when you post your research paper for the publication or apply for the research project grant, you get a negative response the first time. Never give up. Never give up. And when even we write papers, find out, build a team, build a strong team. And sometimes it's appropriate to change strategy and try something different. And sometimes it's appropriate to do both. The hare geographer one and the tortoise geographer two also learned another vital lesson. When we stop competing against the rival and instead start competing against the situation, we perform far better. That is my last mantra, which I just want to tell you all. Secret and work in the team. And many times among geographers, we wish to prove that my specialization is better, my ways of working is better. If you're not using remote sensing data, it's a bad research. If you're using only qualitative, it's a great research. If you're using this, if you're visualizing data in this form, it's the best. Don't do it. Start, start working together. To sum up, the story of the hare and tortoise teaches us many things. The fast and the consistent will always beat the slow and steady. Work to your competences, pooling resources and working as a team beat individual performance. Never give up when you face failures. Compete against the situation and not against your rival, and capture the geographies of the world. They are just waiting for you, dear participants. And the way forward is, of course, there has never been a better time when the geography curriculum needs rethinking, redesigning, and penetration in all art, science, and technology as discipline like its true nature as it is today. This will be a step towards strengthening the brigade geographers and solidifying the foundation of visualization of spatial data in India and the world. Nagi, Inca, Deccan geographers, HES, ISARS can all join Heather and should spearhead this and expand the catchment of geography teaching and learning, giving a strong identity to the discipline called geography and that respect also which it needs. Generate a manual of the teaching geography, ubiquitous cartography, GI science, and so on and so forth. So like Bhagavad Gita, I always say when it's that, the 18 chapters, it's a manual of life. Why don't we create a manual of teaching geography also? With a secret, this thing. SECRET, building and working on the teeth, recreating, redesigning, rethinking our curriculum. And I think so we all can rule the world. Thank you. And that's something, which I just want all of you to always remember, that ultimately geography helps you understand your world and the planet Earth in a better way. And we all definitely have to create networks and we all have to work towards it. And that's something, which is so important. So, dear friends, I just want you all to promise to me that you all will work towards yourself. You all will work towards your self-management. You all will work towards with your effort management. You all will definitely create content and the context in terms of the company management and build strong relationships. And of course, with all emotional management, keeping that biasness out of research and ultimately come with a strong team with new learnings and new training tools and skill sets to yourself and building up those teams where you all would add value to a discipline, geography, and to yourself. You all would become professors, vice chancellors, having good positions in geography circle and in society. Good luck to each one of you and God bless you.